Well, Jeff, you guys are pretty much wrapping up camp this week. What's the overall impression of what you've seen from the guys?
Well, first, can I ask one question? Did you have a nice vacation, JJ? We missed you. We almost didn't carry on without you, but we're glad you're back in our presence.
I appreciate that.
Remind me of the question, please. I'm sorry.
just the overall impression from camp. You guys are breaking camp pretty much.
It's been really good. Today we drug a little bit. You can just tell. And I reminded these kids, we're going to have our alumni back tomorrow for some barbecue. And those guys practiced every day for a year and didn't play. And they got on a bus and went to a high school and came back. And we think we're out here dragging around a little bit. Imagine what those guys' mentality was like. I hope my guys are very appreciative and grateful when they see those guys tomorrow for what they did for this program. They were the very beginning. And we're upset because we don't play for 2 more weeks in a day. Those guys were doing this and had a whole another year to go, and then the next one before they got to play. So we were okay today. It's been a really good camp. We've gotten better. We'll finish up the scrimmage tomorrow.
How many of those guys, alumni, are coming back, you expect?
We're around, I think Coach Brown told me around 50 right now, and Coach Coker's going to be here as well.
Jeff, you told us a couple weeks ago that Oscar was really kind of pushing Leroy for that top tight end spot. How is sort of the competition there unfolded through camp? What do you make of those two guys?
We don't consider them any different. We consider them the same, and they're both really, really good. So Leroy is one of the best leaders on the entire team and on the offense. Oscar's more of a quiet leader. Leroy is a little bit more rambunctious, would be the way to say about Leroy. But they're both fantastic tight ends. If we continue to recruit great tight ends like those two kids, we'll always be a really good football team.
Up front, you have the whole offensive line group back, and after all the shuffling last year, how has that group looked through camp, kind of with a year under their belts or some time together now?
They're a lot. They communicate just so much better. Sip has had a really good camp. Really glad he came back. He's healthy. He looks explosive. His body's in better shape. Meach has had a really good camp. Brandon Rolfe's really coming on. So, that's 3 backups that all started games last year for us. Dominic Pastucci is back. Started games for us last year. So our older guys that returned really bought us a year. That's where COVID did us a favor, believe it or not. It bought us a year. Because, we brought in those 5 freshmen. I think they call themselves the Fab Five already, or the Freshman Five. Well, they've already got themselves a nickname. I'm sure they're trying to cut an NIL deal with somebody up there already. But it's allowed those guys to not be like running with the 1s and 2s. They get to go with the 3s because those guys came back, and we're really grateful. And I didn't mention one starter's name. Those starters have been fantastic.
Does having some depth up there impact the starters? I know Kevin Davis was telling us he might not have to work at center as much because he's confident in the depth there. He can focus more on guard.
Yeah, that's been huge. We've had other kids play there. Luke Lopez has played center, a freshman. Rigsby's been playing center, a freshman. We know we can move KD back over there if we need to. We'll get Ernesto back at some point. It's I don't know what we would do if those kids hadn't come back. It would be like last year. We'd just all be crossing our fingers every week. So it's been a blessing.
Can you give us an overview of just the quarterback situation as fall camp comes to an end here?
Yeah, Lowell's starting to move a little bit better. He went hard like 2 or 3 days in a row, and then you could tell the next day it kind of bothered him a little bit. Frank has been Frank. He's a leader and runs around, makes plays, and still vibrant at all times out there. And Josh is Josh. Those two kids have had great camps. Eddie Lee continues to flash, every day, and he's just such a better athlete. He's sneaky athletic, and he moves a lot better than you think he does. He throws the ball incredibly well as well. And Cam's had a good week. Cam has had a good week. His accuracy's gotten better, and he's been more mature at practice, and that's been good to see. And Zach's solid every day. Zach's always accurate, here all the time. Does a good job with our guys as well.
As a college coach, when somebody gets ready to enter the portal, I'm sure that they probably come up and talk to you about this. what's kind of an advice? I realize every situation is a little bit different, but what kind of an advice does a college coach, because you're kind of like their father figure out here, do you give somebody on that?
Well, that's you nailed it. I mean, that's what we do first and foremost, is try to take care of players. And anybody that wishes to do that, we're going to help them. And when the other coaches call, depending on how they were for me, I'll give accurate information on those kids, and I express that to them. And we haven't had much of that here, but when we do, that's how we address it. It's the way of the new world. It is what it is. And we have to handle those situations correctly. That's someone's child, and that's the way I treat them. And I think we've had 3 here, I believe. I'll get me wrong, but all those kids were really great about it, as their parents were. And I hope they would say the same about us on our end.
Jeff, I saw there was a new staff member on the directory, a director of our chief of staff. Excuse me. Can you just give us an overview of that job and the new hire?
Yeah, it's Coach Matt Turner. Coach Turner and I have coached together since 1993. Kind of a mentor for me my entire career. I have a child named after him. My middle child is Jacob Matthew Traylor. He'll be responsible for just overseeing the staff when I'm not around, out here with you guys, and just kind of my eyes and ears at all times. He's very wise. He was the head coach at Gilmer for 5 years, and last year he had to sit out a year due to his retirement. And we retired and rehired, which is a great thing to do in the TRS system. So all my Texas High School Coaches Association buddies that are out there that are watching this, they know there might be a future for them here one day. It's a good little gig. He didn't have to build any of the crud I do, and he has a great job.
Hey, Coach, with the barbecue tomorrow, what's your favorite piece of meat at the barbecue?
JJ and I, we have these discussions quite a bit. Big rib guy. I love good ribs. I need to be eating chicken next, obviously, but that's not my next go-to. Probably sausage would be next. Just anything I can get some greasy fat. And, brisket's always a go-to. You can't be bad with brisket ever. I love barbecue. We could be here a while now. I love barbecue. And I love good ribs, though. I would love to be able to. One of these days, I'm gonna get a hobby. If I ever get a hobby, I think it's gonna be cooking. I hope, and I would love to be one of those guys. Those guys look so cool to go out there with their little nice setup. Kind of like I grill hamburgers, right? And my wife just thinks I'm out there just sweating. She's so happy and proud of me. I'm like, this is the best hour and a half of my day. So if I could get it where I could barbecue, that'd be like, those guys claim it takes 6, 8, 20 hours. What a great getaway. I'm gonna learn to do that one day.
Do you wait for all the defensive and offensive linemen to go through the barbecue, or do you forget this? It's like there might not be nothing left.
No, I never play the head coach card. I really don't. I try to always go last, and I try to watch and make sure my guys are getting what they need. And it really is. It's just a simple thing to do. But I want all my coaches to reflect that. We're here to serve. We're here to serve. I know that sounds weak in this society, but this is what we're going to do. It's a small thing, but I go last, and you're right, there's not much left usually. I'm getting the pickles and the onions at that time. And use some coleslaw and beans. That's about what I got left.